So welcome to your first session at the second annual Blight Boot Camp. I'm Julie Ryland. I work for the Department of Permits, Licenses, Inspections, but I'll talk about my position a little bit later, but I want to get to know you guys. So I know there's some nonprofits here. Any just residents? No? Well, yeah. Community groups? Okay. What about you? What are you? Corporate. Okay, cool. All right, so this session you're going to learn about city departments and our functionality and where we can help you. You know, a lot of the times it's a confusing process. You don't know where to go. So we have Wendy Urbanik. She's the manager of 311, which is actually in the Innovation and Performance Department of the city, which I have Public Works on there, which is wrong. And we have Shatara Murphy, and she is the Department of Public Safety. She's the Community Affairs Manager. So first we're going to start with Wendy, and she's going to talk about 311, and then Shatara, and then I'll talk about permits, licenses, inspections. So.
Well, good morning, everyone. We have had a lot of exciting developments in 311 over the past couple years. First of all, we used to only be open from 8 to 4:30. Our hours are now extended from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. We have a very active Twitter account. If any of you tweet, we've found that this is a very cost-effective way for the city to process requests. Our Twitter handle is @PGH311, and it's been so effective that our software vendor actually integrated it with our software that we use. It's called a CRM, Customer Relationship Management Software, and now the tweets come right in there. We can look at them, see if it's something that needs to be processed in a service request, and if so, make sure you have that tracking number. In addition, we still take the online requests, and we've also developed a mobile app. It's called MyBurg. It's free of charge. It's on iOS and Android, and it really makes reporting issues easy. It's got a nice feature where you can take pictures and attach those to your request. It's got a geolocator, so if you're reporting from where you're at, it puts that in automatically for you. And the best thing is you can create an account now if you want to stay engaged, and it'll list every request that you've submitted with us, and it'll tell you what's open, what's closed. You'll be able to view the status easily. We love working with community groups, and a lot of our community groups have gone so far as to develop a joint email address, a joint account, and they'll have several members, active members in the group who get those credentials, and then the group can monitor their requests all together. So that's been effective for us as well. 311 is here. If you're not sure who to talk to, if you don't know who you need to call, give us a call. We're happy to help. If it's not something we do, we'll go out of our way to try to find the answer for you, or refer you to whomever can help. So, thank you.
Good morning again. I'm Shatara Murphy, and I am from the Department of Public Safety. I'm going to talk to you just for a quick moment about nuisance properties, disruptive properties, and graffiti, and how you go about reporting these incidences. So, disruptive properties is actually very simple. When you hear it, it sounds so complicated, but it is very, very simple. So, say I live next door to you, and I always see people in and out of your house. It's always loud all the time. There's a lot of traffic in and out, and it's causing disruptions in the neighborhood. I can call my police officer. They will come out, and they will write up a report about it. They will check a box that says this is being reported as a disruptive property. It goes into a system which comes to public safety, and we send you out a notice just stating you got your first sighting of being a disruptive property. If you get 3 of those in a calendar year, what will happen is you will either receive a fine, a citation, in some incidents you will also be arrested if the problem has not been rectified. So there are a long list of things that count as disruptive. A few of them are selling alcohol to minors, which is kind of a no-brainer. Wild or exotic animals that are not permitted to be in the city. Well, I actually have an interesting story. There was one neighborhood within the city, and the residents kept calling and calling about this man and all of his snakes. And there were large snakes, small snakes. They kept seeing him bring them in and out, so on and so forth. So they went to his property to check out the snakes, and come to find out, there was nothing in the city code that stated he could not have these snakes. So the different things that qualify a property to be disruptive, or what count as something as disruptive, it changes all the time. I'm sure at some point those snakes will probably be added to the list. So to get an update of what counts as disruptive, what doesn't count as disruptive, you can always check back the public safety website and go to the Disruptive Property link, and that stuff is updated regularly. If you have noise complaints, as like I said, drug trafficking, if you are harboring a fugitive, the list goes on and on. But the process is very, very simple. A lot of people think that it's extremely complex. So that's how it works. And if, so for you, my neighbor, he's really not my neighbor, by the way, but if you're cited one time and you're not received a citation in 12 months, then that goes away. So it's not, 3 strikes you're out for the course of your life as a city resident. It just goes, it's a year-by-year basis. And a lot of people have questions about graffiti and how that whole process works. And Wendy had one earlier, and she's with 311, and cases of graffiti are reported to 311. And then there is a graffiti unit within the Bureau of Police. And then they go out and they take a look at the graffiti. If it's something that's like profane or very sexual in nature, they'll try to remove it immediately. Most times it does take a pretty long time. The list of graffiti that needs to be removed grows longer and longer every day. So it's not that the city is not trying to actively remove the graffiti. If it's just not an urgent matter, again, something for profane or strongly sexual in nature, it does go on the list, and it takes a little bit of time for it to be removed. Thank you. Oh, wrong mic.
Okay, so my title is Government and Public Relations Liaison. So I work for the Department of Permits, Licenses, Inspections. My position was created last year, and it was after, we recognized that we needed more involvement in the community. So I go to community meetings, I go to meetings with council, I go to meetings with the mayor, and bring back all of those ideas and make sure our processes in PLI are something that works for the community. So that's why I'm here. But in the past 3 years, we've undergone a lot of changes since Mayor Peduta has come in, and it's not just lip service. Our name didn't just change. We actually have been working behind the scenes a lot. We had 23 databases of information. It's down to 3, so that's wonderful. We can everybody has access to them in our department. They can see what's going on, so we can actually work for you guys better than we had in the past. So I'm actually going to use my PowerPoint here. But so we've been making all these changes under 3 categories, which is accountability, predictability, and transparency. So first, I just want to tell you, so what do? We issue all building permits. We issue some business licenses, so general business licenses, pawnbrokers, bed and breakfasts, anything that's in the city code that's a business and needs license comes to us. We also issue all notices for structural deficiencies, property maintenance, and zoning violations. So there's definitely some things that people think we do that we don't, so I just wanted to highlight those as well. Anything in the public right-of-way, including sidewalk cafes, encroachment, parking, streetlights, that doesn't come to us, that goes to Public Works. We don't issue notices for ice or snow removal, that's Public Works as well. Obstructions to the sidewalk, rodent infestations, that's the Health Department. The garbage cans being brought out too early or left out too late, that's Environmental Services. So I've been working for the city for 5 years, and I still don't know what everybody does, so we don't expect you guys to remember that. But so if this is a house we would do, the public right away we wouldn't do. So but call 311. So like Wendy had said, they've also undergone a lot of changes in the past couple years too. So their staff is really knowledgeable about where complaints are sent. So 311 doesn't actually correct any violations. They just get the notices out to the departments to go and check on these complaints. So definitely just always call 311. So back to our 3 principles, what we've been doing. So before, it might have been really hard to get a hold of anybody, and also depending that day who you got a hold of might give you a different answer. So we have an email now. It's pli@apptech@pittsburghpa.gov. You can email that, any questions. They'll send it to the right person as well. We've also started to use electronic calendars, so we know where our inspectors are and we can get more inspections out of them. Like I said, we have better record keeping. So what does that mean to you guys? That we can actually know what's going on, and again, have that same answer no matter who you call. Again, my position was created so we can get this information out to you guys. I have a newsletter. If you want to join it afterwards, let me know. I send out monthly all of our updates, everything that's going on. Also, predictability. We've went through all of our processes. We have standard process guides, standard operating procedures, code interpretations, which I have a link there I'm not going to bring up for time's sake, but they are on our website. So when people come in and apply for permits for common, like townhouses or that kind of thing, they know what we're expecting. You know what we're looking for. Also, we've started communicating with zoning, which they start our permit process. So we've actually started talking to them. And so if you go ask them a question about our department, it's more likely you'll get the right answer, and vice versa. So it's the small things like that that have really made a difference in our operating procedures. So. And also transparency. So part of getting all that data together and making our databases more accurate, we can give that information to you guys. So we can put stuff online, and we've started doing that. And we've also started, I don't know if you've seen these placards in your neighborhoods yet, but when a building's condemned, we start putting these pink, they're huge, they're like this big. So you, as the neighbor, as the community group, as the business, know what properties are condemned. We also have it online as well, a list of the properties. So once a property is condemned, but then if we want to tear the property down, it becomes an imminent danger. That one's not on here, but it's orange. And it'll go from pink to orange. And you know that we put that property out for bid to be demolished. And then once it's under bid, we have a contract, you'll see the red city demolition. So now the community is aware of what's happening with that building, know that we have it under notice, that something's happening, it's in the process. We've also so the demolition information is online as well. I have a resource guide for you guys that was on the chair over there. It has all of these links on it. Also, I don't know if you guys are aware, but there's the Western Pennsylvania Resource Data Center. And there's tons of information on there. Let's see if I can link to it, I don't know. Nope. But so we've started putting all of our violations on there as well. So if you have a little more sophisticated data analysis, you can go on there, grab all of our data, and start to learn about your neighborhood and what's going on there. There's also the health department puts stuff up there, other city departments and whatnot. So it's a fun day to look through that stuff. Yeah, go ahead.
What was the website for
.org, yeah. And also something we're really excited about, it's launching on Monday, it's called Building Eye. So we're taking all of our permits, licenses, code enforcement actions, and some planning applications and making them available online. So the link is on that resource guide as well. I wanted to give you guys a sneak preview today, but it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to. But it's just an interactive web map. You don't have to sign in. It's open to everybody. And you can search your neighborhood, your district, a specific street, a specific address, and just find out what's going on in your neighborhood. So we're really excited about it. You don't have to call our office to find out if we sent a notice out, and it's really easy to understand and read. So definitely take a look at that on Monday.
Is there a mobile app that goes along with that, or is it?
Well, at some point, I think on Friday, don't take our word for that. We're going to have a link on the Myberg app, which Wendy had spoke about. And actually, from the Building Eye website, you can link directly to 311. So if you're looking at it, you don't see that we've sent a notice to anybody that you want that has a violation, you can just click on there, go to 311's website, and submit that complaint right there. So we've been working together to try and make it really easy for everybody to have that information. So this is how you get in touch with me. If you ever receive a notice in the mail, call your inspectors. A lot of people forget that they're there to help you. They're the experts. They've seen your property. Definitely try and get a hold of them first, or their supervisor. Those are always on notices. You can call me. That's my job. Anything that's an issue comes to me, so I'm pretty good at handling those. Also, 311, Building Eye, and that's all. So questions?